Recording in progress.
Hello.
Got it. Hi, Jim.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Rory.
Hello.
Hi, man in the corner.
Hi, Dan.
Dan, if you could just move your face a little further out of frame.
Look, that's good.
Perfect.
That's the three and a half mans.
There we go.
In the third in our series of off the cuff, unprepared, unscripted.
Someone start a timer.
I got it. 12:03 on the clock here.
No.
Yeah. 11 to 12 to
maximum.
Minutes.
That's the attention span.
We come up with ideas and then we don't talk about them until we go live because we all have these ideas. And we thought we would be talking about creativity, right? But also things we're probably guilty of when we try to come up with stories. But it seems like everyone is guilty of no matter what, no matter how great the director or writer or anything is either overused tropes or dumb things in stories, either movies or TV that people do that annoys us that like people don't do in real life.
What I hate is like when a movie's really, really good for a long time and then it falls apart in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Like a perfect example is the movie Signs.
Yes.
People like Signs.
I love
Signs.
I
love all the tension, everything built up. And then
so
when people are getting like beat up with like bats and they're allergic to water, but they're invading a planet that's like 80% water. It's like it just like takes me out of it. Like I was completely taken out. Like, why is this happening? This is such a good movie, and now it's like so stupid and dumb, and like I can't tolerate it.
I say this a lot. I can be of two minds. I can enjoy the movie for the entertainment factor, and then I can pick it apart and completely destroy it. Meaning, like up here. But then it comes to a point where it's like it's no longer enjoyable.
Like, things like I can't watch Signs anymore because I know what's coming. It's like I'm watching it. I'm like, this is all so good. Like the build up, the suspense. It's like it's all so well done. And then you get to that end when it's like they're allergic to.
Is that just a Shyamalan thing though? Because a couple of his other movies, they do that. They really but then
his movies just got bad out of the gate. The Happening is on my list of worst
terrible
ever.
And then you try and go. This is going to become like an M. Night Shyamalan bash session. But he went out of his way to say, like, "Oh, it was intentionally bad." It's like I don't think so.
I don't think you want to do that.
I don't think you make intentionally bad movies.
Like Ed Wood's an example of a movie that's like intentionally kind of bad. Like the angles are weird, the lighting's weird because he was trying to emulate how bad like Ed Wood was at directing films, and that pulls it off, and that's done really well. But like
because it's non-ironic,
like it's just a bad movie.
Right? It's just bad. Yeah. Wait, you said
sorry.
That's okay. I was going to say so dumb things people do like in television.
Yeah, we can go back to.
Well, no, it's okay. No, it's okay. Oh no. When people don't say goodbye on the phone. Like they do it on TV all the time.
Oh, they just
and then they just hang up.
Yeah.
Or they leave their door open. Why do people always come in their houses? Or someone shows up and they leave their door open.
Well, because they haven't aged past kids, because that's what my kids do is they come in and they leave the door open.
Yes, kids will never. Yes, kids will leave the door open. Kids will go directly for the pile of dirt that you are presently sweeping. They will walk through whatever liquid was just spilled. They've not been anywhere near you for an hour. You spill something on the floor, a child will show up to walk through it. This is one that annoys me too. Conversations, and someone will make like an offhanded remark. It's important, and it's like it's an internal monologue said out loud for the sake of the television or the viewers.
Sure.
They'll say something, and the person will say, "What's that?" And they'll say, "Oh, never mind." And clearly, there's tension. There's when in your lives do you allow something like that to just pass? And you're like, okay.
Yeah,
usually, you're right. They're in the throes of something important, and they'll say, "Well, I'd never do it like that," or "Oh, well, clearly we're going to die." What's that? Oh, nothing. Okay.
Someone just like walks out of a room,
right?
It's like,
I think it's okay in a comedic setting.
Yeah, but
because it's supposed to be funny and ridiculous. But in the more serious, dramatic settings, like
or the "I'll tell you later" or "no time."
That happens on the X-Files. Like, it's best if you just come
right,
and they hang up, and it's like, Wait. Tell me why I'm coming.
Where
I
are
love
you?
X-Files, but they do that all the time with like a phone call. They're just like, you need to come and see this.
You just need to see this.
There's a great Simpsons bit where Nelson, right? Nelson the bully, right?
Yeah.
He shows up, there's something going on, and he's like, there's no time to tell you, follow me. And they're running through the school, and he stops and gets a drink of water. Like, what's going on, Nelson? I said there's no time.
Those inconsistencies are just fantastic. Like if you're switching like from one angle to another in a scene, like two people talking, and the person's holding something different when it shifts back. It's like, wait a minute, that was a recut.
Yep. Or the hair changes.
Yep. It was definitely filmed on another day, and the props just didn't have what they had or something. Yep. But like the one Bond movie with Sean Connery, where he picks up the phone, dials, then looks in the phone book for the number.
See, those
that's a great one.
Yeah, those sorts of good. Well, actually, yeah, you watch a lot of those. Well, it's funny because they weren't expecting the movie makers weren't expecting high definition, so they got away with stuff like in the background.
Oh yeah.
So there's plenty of times like James Bond where Sean Connery's hair, the part will change because they reuse the footage just to go the other direction, and they just inverted it. Or flip.
Whatever, yeah.
Whatever. And because so like I don't
Y-axis.
know which movie it is. And Dean Zachary, when you're watching, you can call me out. But he's on a helicopter. He's hanging or on the feet, and it switches which side he's on a couple times because like the whole thing just gets inverted.
Yeah.
It used to be when you could watch James Bond when they had them all on Amazon, you could turn on what do they call that? You could
it's like the X-ray or pop-up video.
X-ray. And you on the computer, I liked it because it would be scrolling on the side, all of the like the behind-the-scenes stuff, and there were so many mistakes, which it makes me feel good about being a nobody and trying to have a mistake-free product. Like Rory and I, we have a character in Steam Patriots 1 who just disappears. he'll show back up later, or maybe we'll make a comment. Whatever happened to that? What's his name?
Enters the door to the one of the most important men in history's shop, and then never heard from him again.
Good day.
Well, I mean,
I see you're my replacement.
There's if you watch Die Hard, right? So the ambulance comes out of the truck at the end, and that's the getaway vehicle. But at the beginning, and this is famous, right? At the beginning, they show the men coming out of after the truck breaks in, and you have Hans and his team coming out of the truck, and the trunk is empty. You can see the back. There's nothing there. And then later in the movie, an ambulance just drives out of it. And I watched a documentary on it, and they like what happened is they're all sitting in the cut. They're like the pre-release, like it's finished, it's edited. They're just watching it, like the final screening, and everybody goes, "Oh no, oh." When they got that there's nothing in the end because they hadn't thought of it. So there's that. But what drives me nuts, maybe not nuts, but something this is more on a macro level, that every story has to, like every sequel or every progressive story has to escalate. For example, like you get Star Wars, I think is the chief example. Like you get Star Wars, the original trilogy, which was great and fantastic, and then like the
prequels,
The Force Awakens, the Force Awakens,
sequel trilogy, which is all
right.
trash anyway.
Immediately opens up with, we've got a bigger Death Star. It doesn't just blow up planets, it blows up the world. And then later
we've had one Death Star, yes. What about second Death Star?
Right, yeah. But and one of the things that bothers me is that I feel like, and this is pretty often in fantasy, almost pretty consistently in fantasy, and somewhat in sci-fi, is that the stakes are always world ending or country ending, or they're massive. They start off, you're like, we're saving the world, and the thing that it's like why couldn't we tell like a back alley, like why can't we have a on the ground, like all the story is about is this dude trying to save his village, and if the stakes fail, they fail.
Yeah.
And it doesn't end like there's you can go from there. I think like one of the things that's and I'm gonna contrast, and this will be my last point. I'm going to contrast, like, so you have this epic fantasy. You have Lord of the Rings, and it's the end of the world. And Lord of the Rings is a classic, and it's great, but they're facing the end of the world. And then you have Pokemon, right?
Yes.
Now, the thing about Lord of the Rings is, going into it, going into Lord of the Rings, that, like, they're going to win. The heroes are going to save the day. Frodo's going to destroy the ring.
Wait, spoiler! Jeez, man, Jim.
I just ruined Lord of the Rings for everybody. I'm so sorry. Spoilers. But the thing about Pokemon is there's no high stakes, or there's very few high stakes. Yeah. And so it goes going. 50, it went like 50 seasons, 50 series. Jeez. And the thing is and they could do that because, like, you going into the final battles, like that final tournament, Ash didn't win. Like, he never won all of them. And so you didn't know when Ash was going to lose, which friend he was going to lose to. Like, there's actually, like, I don't know how this is going to end because there is not enough stake. There wasn't high enough stakes that they could actually have the main character lose and it not end everything.
I think but to counter that with like the big stories, they're probably going to save the world. That's probably going to happen. But like, what's the sacrifice going to be? Yeah. And I think for me, the biggest letdown is like when there is no sacrifice, when everyone just like spoiler alert for Avengers Endgame, Tony Stark sacrifices his life. That's pretty huge sacrifice to be made to win that battle. That's pretty cool. And that's awesome. But what bothers me is like when there is no sacrifice, when like nothing happens. Like, so initially, like in Return of the Jedi, there was a talk that Lando was going to die destroying the Death Star. And it's like, oh, that's cool. That would have raised the stakes for that, right? Because we won, but we lost Lando, or, something like that. Or like, I think Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo to die like forever in the original trilogy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they never did it. But like, that would have been a huge sacrifice, and that would have been amazing. Like, if that happened, I would have been mad as a kid when it happened. But like, as an adult, I could respect that storytelling.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
That would have been a death that like affected a generation at the time. Because I think his death was cheapened.
That even happens
cheapened.
That happens in comic books too. Like Gambit in the X-Men comics. From the very beginning of his creation, he was intended to betray the X-Men. He was going to be the betrayer. He was like in league with Mr. Sinister and all this other stuff. Yeah. But he became popular. So like, oh, let's not do that. And then they just gave him his own series and did all this stuff and made him like Rogue's boyfriend. And then like years later, when no one cared about Gambit anymore, then he betrayed the X-Men. It's just like, well, that's pointless at that point, because like it would have been powerful when everybody loved him to have him betray the X-Men. But like no one cares about him. Who cares about him betraying the X-Men? Yeah.
And that's an awesome point to end on, because we are out of time.
Wait, I was going to talk about Muppet Babies.
No, stakes. On your own time.
High stakes in every episode. That was one that escalated.
Every bigger, more explosions. All right. Okay.
Can you name the old men in the Muppets? I always forget their
Statler
names.
And Waldorf.
Yeah.
Jeez,
that's it.
They're hotel chains.
Yep.
Waldorf. That's awesome.
We're going to talk about escalating every week. We could talk about Dragon Ball Z next week.
I was gonna bring that up
for our Canadian watchers.
That used to come on like after Teen Titans Go, and I'd watch it with my kids. And every week I'd just be like, every week he's the most powerful man in the universe. Yeah. Every week he would beat him just by screaming for like a minute and a half before he punched him. And I was like, why is this popular? I never got it.
How come Power Rangers never went straight to the big robot with the sword? Same thing.
Yeah.
Why escalate? Go straight to the robot, swing the sword, and be done.
You do that every week.
That's every robot movie.
Every robot, because they paid for the animation. They got to use it.
Got to use it every time.
Okay, that's
every Sailor Moon. Got to go through the whole spinning.
Oh my gosh!
You watched it for the plot, right, Rory?
Absolutely. Well, what was the band that said those Boom Anime Babes? I mean, Chicken to China, the Chinese chicken. What band is that?
I don't know. Bare Naked Ladies.
On that bombshell.
Bare Naked Ladies.
I don't know.
Bare Naked Ladies. That's it.
Okay.
Bare Naked Ladies.
Thank you.
Listen to the Bare Naked Ladies. Not an endorsement. They don't pay us. But go ahead and listen to them. Check out stories, and we would love to hear in the comments below your thoughts about.
Thumbs up.
Like and share.
Ring the
Scott
bell.
smoking pipes.
Yes.
Where's the bell? Ring the bell.
Please end this.
Whatever it is
End
now.
this. We've gone
And
past
then-
it. Good day, Rory. Good day, Jim.
Good day.
Have a great one. Bye.
Bye.
Recording stopped.